Next up in the wild way to lucid dreaming, still talking about hypnagogia as being the key to having wake-initiated or wake-induced lucid dreams. But before we get into Slider's actual techniques for maintaining your lucidity through this stage 1 of sleep state, and then hopefully entering into REM after that and having a full-blown wild, let's talk a bit about what hypnagogia actually looks like. Most people don't pay attention to it, but on the way into sleep, if you are watching, you will likely become aware of slight colors and faint images that seem to appear at random before you as you lie there in the dark with your eyes closed. Streaks of shifting colors, speckled colored dots like newsprint, morphing geometric shapes, all of these fleeting patterns and images are called hypnagogia. Then, a bit later, hypnagogia can take many forms, ranging all the way from just some very slight blobs and shifting streaks of color, like I just said, through reasonably clear scenes and images to full-blown, startlingly vivid, frozen or moving images. And so you're always trying to get to the point to where you're having this deeper, more full-blown moving image type of hypnagogia. I liken it to like watching a movie or something like that versus you being in the movie in the first person like you are in waking life. And so hypnagogia can take on many forms, especially in the beginning stages of it. Something that I've found personally from playing around in this state is that I can actually conjure up specific type of hypnagogic imagery in the early stages. So for me, like once I get, quieted down and, start actually drifting towards this stage 1 of sleep area, I can on command, basically, typically on like the very bottom of my exhale, when you're at the most relaxed state, when your heart rate slows down and all that, I can generate a picture of like a scene, starry night sky imagery in front of me. And then a lot of times that will disappear when it first pops up. It will disappear on my inhale as I slightly wake up a little bit. And then I just basically use that as my object of attention, right, for this, hypnagogic liminal meditation state that I'm aiming for. Exhale again. Listen to my heartbeats. I like to do this oftentimes with earplugs in. And I first stumbled into this actually in a float tank or a sensory deprivation tank. But then the very bottom of my exhale, generate that starry night sky image again. And then eventually after rinse and repeating this process, the starry night sky image will stay there even on the inhale as I'm getting deeper into stage 1 of sleep. And then it will basically progress from there. You can just kind of stay in that state because you're probably not too far off from having actual thoughts and images pop up visually to you. And then, progress past that to it's actually moving like it's a movie you're watching again too. But sometimes too, like before that, I'll get to see like this, almost like it's a black hole or something in the middle. Like there will be this kind of darker, slightly moving, shifting spot in the center. And then you can lock your awareness to that and I'll kind of start, influencing it to kind of shift left and right and turn. Then you can start introducing some physical sensations into your hypnagogia. And this can also work great too at keeping you consciously aware because, when you're on this edge, you're very close to losing your lucidity and then just falling asleep as you typically would, getting lost in this hypnagogic imagery. But, kind of influencing it, getting it to move some. And then as the images do start to pop up and you start to get this more movie type scene going on in front of you, something that can help a lot too with keeping your lucidity intact, because once those moving images pop up, it's basically always, coming packed with some sort of narrative to it, right? Whatever thought process you have going on in your head. And so if you get wrapped up in the narrative, you're going to basically lose your lucidity and then fall asleep unconscious as you typically do. So one way I like to keep my conscious awareness intact is as I'm seeing that, I'm kind of narrating in my head what's going on. It's kind of helping to keep me like that one step removed from it so I don't get fully sucked into the narrative of it. And then that also works really great too. When you do come out of it, you can retain more of that information to dream journal and stuff later. So it really can help. A lot of it comes down to just kind of getting in there and practicing and, trying to pay attention to this falling asleep process, trying to keep your conscious awareness intact. The cool thing about it though is since we pass through this state every single time we're falling asleep, it's very easy just to rinse and repeat and try again and again, right? And sometimes if you do fully wake up out of it, that kind of sucks in a way, but it's also not that bad because then you just sit back, relax, or drifting back into sleep again, and then you can have another crack at it. So I hope that helps. And then in the next video, we'll actually talk about Slider's technique for trying to maintain your lucidity. And he has a nice little experiment, which I kind of just already said the experiment, but we'll go over that stuff in the next video. Until then, keep your lucid dreaming and hypnagogic practice legit.